I just can't do it anymore. Oh. Oh my Lord. Some of you all know that I sold my Avion roughly a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. I can't even remember how long it's been now. I've looked at so many different options that my eyes are going cross. Like I can't even function. Like my eyes hurt every single night when I go to bed because I've looked at so much stuff. And I'm just like, I'm like digging down in so many different websites. I'm about to go blind. I just don't know what to do. It just seems like everything that I want or everything that I think that I need, there's like this massive con. Like the cons always seem to like kind of outweigh my pros in my head. Like I'm like, okay, I want to be much smaller and I want to be much lighter and this, that, and the other. But then like if you go smaller and lighter, the quality of the materials just keep going down and down and down. And that's my problem, is that I'm not used to having not quality materials. So I really want something that's built to last. I don't know. And I literally considered just about everything, by the way. I've left no stone unturned. I've given everything, in my opinion, I've given everything its fair due. Class A's, Class B's, regular old vans, Class C's, travel trailers, pop-up trailers, slide-in truck campers. I've literally given everything a shot. I've even given minivans a consideration as well. And speaking of minivans, let's check this out. My mother and my stepdad, they had a little trip that they were going on up to Illinois to drop off my grandmother to go be with her sisters, and they took the church van, and it just so happens to be this. This is a Town and Country. It's a Chrysler product, but it's basically just the Dodge Grand Caravan rebranded for the most part. There's a few little Chrysler touches on here, but it is really, really cool. First of all, this remote does some pretty cool stuff. You know, like you want to open up the bed of your, you know, your van. There you go. And just look how much room there is in here. Oh my God. Like you can stand up halfway, but like you're not standing straight up, you know. There's no way to do that. But I mean, you got third row seating. All of these seats are the stow and go type seats. So they just kind of fold down into the bottom floor of the van. I mean, you can sit here and put one of those lagoon tables right here. And I think what's really cool about it is that not only do you get all the space and you get all the cargo carrying capacity, but it's also damn good on gasoline too. Not to mention, if you actually had to end up repairing one of these things, I mean, parts are readily available for these almost anywhere. Something breaks, you're dealing with an actual vehicle that people buy millions of every single year, right? So there's like Toyota Sienna, the Dodge Grand Caravan, the Honda Odyssey, the Town and Country, you've got all these different options. What is it, the Kia Sedona? Yeah, that's another one. You got all these different options as far as like minivans go. And if you really are more of a traveler, one of these, especially for just like a little makeshift mini camper van, is a fantastic option. I've seen several people that have done really cool builds on these, and they make a lot of sense. And I think one of the biggest advantages is, first of all, if you black out all your windows and you take all the necessary precautions or whatever, you know, you'll stay relatively warm. And if you need heat or you need air, you literally just put the key in the ignition and turn it on. It's got built-in heat. It's already got built-in air. It's basically a built-in generator. You know, you could easily hook up batteries to this, you know, and recharge this thing pretty damn easily. Just saying. Not to mention with this remote, you do kind of feel like a little bit like a wizard. You know, you basically just go. It's pretty neat. And then when you need a little extra room back here in the back, let's just say you want to convert the whole thing into some type of camper. I mean, it is pretty cool to just be able to dump these whole seats down in the floor and just get them completely out of the way, while at the same time still having them available if you ever go and have some passengers with you. You just lift this up, throw it out of your way, and then you got like this little compartment down here in the floorboard. Let's lift up this thing right here. Oh, and then you fold that back, fold that over, and then you just kind of lift the whole thing up, and you got that huge storage compartment down in there. So if you knew that you never were going to use this, you know, maybe you were never going to use, just remove the seat, and now you've got this deep, it goes down to my elbow. You got this really deep storage compartment that goes all the way across, because both of the seats go down into the floor. And it's the same story back here with these. So these seats are currently stowed, but if you were to lift them up out of their storage compartments, you just lift this up, and look at all that storage down in there. Look at all that. Look at all this storage. Like, it's actually quite huge, especially if you do it to both of them, right? Now you've got like this huge trunk space where you can put all kinds of gear. And then of course you could always just lay something flat over top of this to kind of bridge the gap and kind of flatten it out if you want. And then maybe put like a piano hinge on the wood and then lift it up or whatever. It's actually really, really convenient. But on top of all those, like, I've even considered just going with the truck. Maybe putting a rack over the bed or something, and maybe mounting some solar panels on top of that rack. You know, maybe just having some sort of like maybe camp topper, you know, like one of those truck bed toppers, and then just sliding an air mattress in the bed of the truck, maybe doing a truck bed tent, something to that effect. They make some really good like camping tents for the bed of your truck. And it has like a vestibule that kind of hangs out over top, and you can kind of, you know, stay dry and have, you know, you could put a step there instead of actually having a hitch. So you could go that route. And then, you know, like if you needed seating or whatever, like I've got a big truck. I've got the crew cab truck. So, I mean, this truck, as far as like seating is concerned, like, I mean, it's like a Cadillac in here. I mean, sit here in the back seat. Look how much knee room I've got. I've got all that space. I mean, it's a good 8 to 12 inches of space back here. And just pick a seat. I could literally have a seat, just pick one. Maybe not the driver's seat, that way that it's always empty, so that if I had to, you know, hurry up and get the hell out of a particular place, I could just go. But I mean, I could just pick a seat, you know, and then make that the seat where like I do work on my laptop and I'm, you know, lounging, you know, I can kick back and kind of chillax or whatever. Obviously, the front seat would probably be most optimal for that. But I mean, I'm just trying to illustrate the fact that I have given everything a thought. I have considered everything. All of those things are viable options. When you're just trying to get out and camp and you're trying to enjoy nature and you're just trying to enjoy traveling, there are things that can either increase the joy in those activities or decrease the joy in those activities. But the one thing that I always try to consider is this a good investment or not? Unfortunately, most campers are not a good investment. You're almost always going to lose money when you invest in one, unless you buy one that's already lost all of its value to begin with. That was one of the main reasons why I wanted to buy a vintage camper to begin with, because in the eyes of the tax man, most of its value had already been spent, right? You know, so in the eyes of the law and registration and all that, vintage campers are one of the easiest, best things as far as just like very low tax value. Vintage campers are some of the best because they've already, in the eyes of the tax man, lost every single bit of the value. Anything that you do to them only increases their value in the eyes of potential buyers. I don't know. I just wanted to kind of update you all as far as like where I was at. How did you all finally settle on something? I mean, did you all even consider the depreciation value if you bought brand new? Did you all even think about that? Was that even a consideration? I mean, did you not care? Was it no big deal? Did you just have the extra income to burn? You know, what was the thought process? Because I can't honestly hardly bring myself to buy anything new. And I've looked at a couple of new options, including some off-road stuff. And I'm just like, man, I would really like to have that. But I have a really hard time with accepting the fact that it's going to lose 20% of its value within the first year or two of me owning it. Oh, God, just the thought of that drives me nuts. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching yet another episode here on the Avion Awesome channel. I'm your host, Mark Puckett. I'll see you guys again on the next one. Peace.